a Jedi who was a Poobah, just like you. The Poobah's also in these pictures. They tell a story about a ferocious creature threatening a town, until the brave Poobah arrived and drove it away, saving everyone. Nubs! What's in here?
You're right, Nubs. I bet it's the same lightsaber that Stone Poobah was holding. Let's ask Master Yoda.
Welcome, Masters and Padawans, to episode 553 of Full of Sith. It's me, Bryan Young, and I haven't been on the show in a couple of weeks. I was out at a convention, and then I got COVID, and Holly's not with me right now because we've got a little bit of a special treat. I'm here with my son, Kingston. Kingston, say hello.
Hi.
And Kingston and I had a chance to sit in on a roundtable with Dee Bradley Baker for the Young Jedi Adventures show, Season 2, which just came out last week on Disney+. And we got to talk to him and with a bunch of other podcasts, which you'll recognize. And we're going to talk about Season 2 of Young Jedi Adventures, which we had a chance to go through. And we really love the show and have been through it and really like it. And then after we're done talking about that, we'll play the roundtable and really suggest you check it out. So, Kingston, the first thing I want to ask you is, what is it about Young Jedi Adventures that you like?
I like how it's like one of the kids' shows, like how it's like just the version of Star Wars meant for kids. It's like Star Wars going down to a kid version.
Who would you say is your favorite character?
Definitely Nubs.
Definitely Nubs. And that was so exciting that we got to talk to Dee Bradley Baker, right? Who's the voice of Nubs.
Yeah.
What is it that makes Nubs your favorite?
Just tiny floof. He's just a tiny floof ball.
Do you have a favorite episode that involves Nubs? No, he's shaking his head. I really liked the episode in Season 2 where Nubs kind of came across the Poobian, the Poobah Jedi Knight that was full grown, and we kind of got to see a little bit about what a full grown Poobian Jedi was like, right? That was pretty cool, huh?
Technically not entirely what he was like.
Just a little bit, though. That was also really cool, too. What we saw in Season 2, we saw the droid Professor Hu Yang, right? That was really cool, huh?
He's in my book somewhere.
He's in your book somewhere. As we're doing this, Kingston's going through the Clone Wars Character Encyclopedia by, I want to say this one's by Jason Fry. Yes, indeed. It is written by Jason Fry. Jason Fry is a good people. I don't think you've met Jason Fry. He's a good guy. So, are there any other characters on Young Jedi Adventures that really stand out for you?
All I know, I don't know.
Do you like Kai and Nash and everybody else and
RJ?
Yeah.
He's just so tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny and cute.
What is it about having a kids show in Star Wars? I mean, because you watch Clone Wars and you watch Rebels, and those are kids shows too. What is it that makes this kids show special?
I mean, I guess it's like more of a kids show because like it's actually got a lot of kids.
Like it's more aimed at kids.
Yeah.
Does it feel like safer? Like they're not gonna like in the Younglings arc, remember in Clone Wars when it was like Gunji and
I have a page of them somewhere.
but you remember them, right? Like Gunji and
Yeah, we saw them like a couple episodes.
yeah, but like when Hondo kidnapped them and stuff. Ooh, the Bad Batch.
Yeah, they're like
They were like in danger, and Katuni and Biff and Ganudi and Zat, and Petro. Page 25 and 26. It felt like they could die, right? It felt like they were going to go at any moment, and it was set right before Order 66, so it felt like they were in a lot of danger at any time, right? But with these Padawans, it doesn't feel like there's that danger looming over their head, right? Like they're just learning and they're going to grow up and everything's going to be okay, huh? People, when they're listening, can't hear you nod your head. Now he's silently, like, smiling like he's getting away with something. How many times have you watched the first season of Young Jedi Adventures? It's a bunch. You've watched the first episodes a ton.
I haven't seen the whole thing even, so I can't even be sure about that.
Oh, because they staggered the releases, but I know you watched at least, like, the first, 10 episodes of the first season a bunch. Like, I remember you watched that episode with Nubs being sick. I know you've seen a bunch.
It's because it's literally got Nubs in the name, and it shows Nubs, not through the whole thing, but a bit throughout the thing.
Was there a favorite episode of season 2 that you liked?
Nope.
You just liked it all?
Not all of them.
There's one you didn't like?
I said not all of them.
Okay. In season 2, I mean. We watched all of season 2.
I know, but that's because I think it's shorter.
Yeah.
Way shorter.
Yeah. They might release more.
Yeah, but right now it's way shorter.
Mm-hmm. You got a little nervous when we were going to talk to Dee Bradley Baker, didn't you? How come? How come you got nervous? Was there a question you wanted to ask him that you didn't get to? Yeah, there was. You wrote down 3 questions, and we only got to ask him 1.
Technically, we didn't even ask him the question wrote on the paper.
We did. I just expanded it because you were going to ask it, and then you kind of got nervous and weren't able to.
Yeah, but that time people could see and hear me.
Mm-hmm.
In this, they can't see and hear. They can't see me, but they can hear me.
Mm-hmm. Now, you really like D-Squad.
Oh, yeah. I just found them in my book.
What if there was a D-Squad TV show?
All I know is I can swear there was one more. I swear there was one more. I swear there's one more on the D Squad.
R2-D2 was on D-Squad.
Yeah, but he's not shown in the D Squad.
Well, yeah, because he's probably got his own entry elsewhere because he's R2-D2 and he is a little more important.
Yeah, but that's because he's in way more episodes.
Yeah.
But that's because they're only in a little bit of it. Oh, hey, I found the Bad Batch. Where did you go, Bad Batch? Part of the Bad Batch.
Oh, I want to ask something, too, while we're talking about this. You watched all of The Acolyte with me, and I don't think you've been on the show or talked to us since The Acolyte came out. And The Acolyte's definitely not like a kid's show like Young Jedi Adventures. But you like Young Jedi Adventures, but you also liked The Acolyte, right? What is it about The Acolyte you liked?
I don't know.
You don't know what you liked about it?
No.
Are you just trying to, mock me and make a fool of me, young child?
No.
Then why are you all of a sudden we talked about it so much and you had so many answers about what you liked about it, and all of a sudden I put a microphone in front of you and you're like, No.
You don't think I can remember? You think I can remember all those answers I gave? What? Even with my ADHD?
Yeah?
That was a long time ago.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. But you did like it.
Kind of.
What kind of... Why is everything all like, maybe, kind of, a bit, I don't know. Nope, no favorites.
I don't know. You tell me.
It seems like you've turned off your joy tonight. Are you just tired?
No. I don't know.
You're being a weirdo.
Yeah, but I'm always a weirdo.
That's fair.
Bunny droid!
Okay, then tell me right now, what's your favorite bit of Star Wars? What's a bit of Star Wars that just makes you happy?
Seeing Nubs.
Seeing Nubs makes you happy?
Just a tiny floof ball.
Does he just remind you of your cats?
No, he's just a floof ball.
Is that all it takes to make you happy in Star Wars, is just floof balls?
Floof balls are cute.
Is that why you like Ewoks?
They're so floofy.
Is that why you like Ewoks?
They're floofy.
Is that enough? That's all it needs?
To be very floofy.
Okay.
Like a Wookiee. Floof ball.
Wookiees are floofy?
They're very floofy. Except on their hands.
We need to watch Bad Batch. Because Gunji shows up there.
Gunji shows up?
Yup.
Like as a little kid still?
Well, yeah.
But that's because we saw them as kids just a few weeks at least.
Yep.
So, yeah, probably really scared though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a bunch of the Jedi were just killed.
Oh, we watched Twin Sons recently. You saw Twin Sons and Twilight of the Apprentice for the first time recently too, didn't you?
What?
You saw Darth Maul's end.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think about that? What'd you think about that?
You know, you don't think he could sort of like survive that long. You think he would just be dead after the first movie.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's a shock that he shows up in a couple more movies.
Uh-huh.
But then, like, he shows up in Rebels.
Uh-huh.
Just being a shady character trying to train Ezra.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a shock that he just appears in Rebels, period. Not that he's, like, that he's not dead, but that makes sense because, like, he was never a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a surprise he's not dead. It's just a surprise he showed up.
What do you think would have happened if Ezra would have been like, okay, Maul, let's go, train me?
Yeah, I think he would just backstab and literally backstab him in the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lightsaber.
And what about what happened when Ahsoka met Vader?
Well, not met, but
Fought.
saw him as Vader.
Yeah. Was that sad?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
How would you feel about that?
I don't know. You tell me.
How would you feel if your master turned to the dark side like that?
Blech.
Like, how would that make you feel if you were in that
Heartbreaking
situation?
because you're my master.
Oh, I'm your Jedi Master?
You told me this and I had a Padawan braid, but because of my rolling around and, like, moving my arms around, I took it out accidentally.
Oh, you can put it back in.
Yeah, but it's painful.
Oh.
Plus, my hair was recently cut.
So you think that would be heartbreaking?
Yeah, you're my dad.
Mm-hmm. So you don't want me to go to the dark side?
I'd probably at that point just literally slap you.
You'd just slap me if I went to the dark side?
At that point, I would just slap you.
Yeah?
Yep.
Would I deserve it?
Yeah. Going to the dark side, you would deserve being slapped.
Okay, that's fair. That's really super fair.
Did you ever notice that 3 of them have green lightsabers and 3 of them have blue lightsabers?
Oh, you mean the younglings, the Jedi younglings from Ilum? From the
Gunji,
Katuni, Petro,
Zat,
Zat, Ganudi, and Biff.
Yeah, like 3 of them have blue ones, 3 of them have green ones.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever notice that?
Yep. Did you know that Hondo Ohnaka's ship, when you fly it in Smuggler's Run, is called the Katuni?
Nope.
Yep. I heard that they're changing the ride in Smuggler's Run, so you'll be able to do a mission with Mando and Grogu on the Millennium Falcon.
That's cool. Like, just like add that mission, like
Yep.
one of those 2 missions.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other.
Yeah, I think so.
Because people seem to really enjoy the one they already have.
Do you enjoy the one they already have?
I mean, it's really hard when you're the pilot.
Yeah.
Especially because of the controls being different. They're like the opposites.
I mean, that's how planes fly.
Which is weird.
Yeah, okay.
Jabba the Hutt looks like he's falling asleep with that eye.
Yep.
He really does. He looks like he's half asleep. Like. He looks like he's trying to. It looks like he's falling asleep. But seriously, it was a shock that Darth Maul even lived being cut in half.
Yeah. How'd you react when you first saw that he was alive?
Bleh. Confused. Ah! Not on my watch.
Are you excited that the Mandalorian and Grogu are going to be on the big screen?
Maybe.
You're maybe excited?
No, maybe.
Maybe what?
Maybe they'll be on. That's not a... No.
No. On the big screen. They're the next movie coming out. May 2026. We're getting the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
That's interesting, but I have to watch Mandalorian first.
Yeah, we're going to get through that. As soon as we get through Rebels, we can watch Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And Book of Boba Fett and
Obi-Wan
and Andor and we'll watch Bad Batch. You're catching up.
I knew this droid was literally when Ahsoka was with the 2 sisters.
The Martez sisters.
Yeah. I know this was... I really want to say this was the droid they had to fight.
Yeah. Did you like the Martez sisters?
You tell me.
How am I supposed to tell you if you liked them?
I don't even remember a lot of these characters.
That was Morley from
Dad.
Lotho Minor. That was the little snake that led Savage to Maul.
Dad, can I fix my position?
Those are the angels from the moons of Iago. That was Jabo Hood. He was on Iago. That was Chieftain Peter. He was from Karlak, where Death Watch was hiding out.
Death Watch?
Yep.
I forgot what.
You're in the weeds on this book right now.
What?
Yeah, you're in the weeds. Anyway, do you have any last words to say about Young Jedi Adventures?
No, I lost that.
Well, you're not going to find any Young Jedi Adventures in there. Any last words about Young Jedi Adventures and what you like about it, though? I really like about it. The thing I like about it is that it's just like, it's really heartwarming, and I always learn a lesson, and it seems very positive, and it's always just like about friendship and like helping each other, right? And it's always really positive, and it's about good things and being a good person, right?
Nubs looks like a floofy cat.
That's all you can say is just like you love how Nubs is a floofer?
He looks like a floofy cat.
Okay. Well, you can watch Young Jedi Adventures on Disney+. both seasons. And without further ado, here is our roundtable with a number of delightful other podcasts. With Dee Bradley Baker, the voice of Nubs, and you'll also recognize him as the voice of all of the clones in the Bad Batch. So there you go.
All right, first is Bryan.
Hello, Dee. This is
Hey again, Bryan.
Bryan with Full of Sith, and I'm joined by my son Kingston, who is a huge young Jedi Adventures nerd.
Hey, Kingston.
And the first thing we wanted to ask you is just it seems like there's probably some difficulty there in playing a character who's speaking not English, but communicating that way. It reminded me a little bit of Chaplin's sort of song and dance in modern times.
Yeah.
And wondering if you could talk about that.
Yeah, there's a lot about animation because it's very visual and it needs to be clear. It needs to be very relatable. And that, to me, tracks back to vaudeville. It tracks back to, like, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd. I was just starting to watch some of his stuff this past weekend. But it's that clarity of storytelling that is, it's very human, it's very smart, and it's good theater because it connects and because it's clear. And that's very much what you've got at play in a series like Young Jedi, where the storytelling, because of the format, is necessarily it's time constrained, right? Just like the old silent movies were, is you had like 10 or 20 minutes maybe, and that was all you had to tell your story. They got longer and longer eventually, but it started out as a very economic way of telling a story, which that kind of continued its way on into the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes stuff, and then into what you have now, which are these little gems of stories that are they're very quick, but it's the full story with the full range of emotion that plays out. And so the important thing is to, as always, is you've got to have good writing, and it's got to be clean and clear what the story is, with a beginning and a middle and an end. That is something that well, you can track it back to Aristotle if you want, but that's something that you very much had back in the days of vaudeville and silent pictures, and it's still that kind of tradition of storytelling, of clarity and economy is still very much in play.
Thank you. James, over to you.
Hi, Dee.
James.
Good to see
Hello.
you again.
Hello again.
Hi, we've been talking for 15 years now, and your vast array of voices never ceases to amaze me. And what I'm wondering, how do you bank them? Do you have an encyclopedic memory that each voice, each character's got its own tone and way about it? Because we've seen you before that you can just turn any character on almost instantly. So how do you compartmentalize that, if that makes sense?
Well, sometimes I can't remember what I did, and I need to have the engineer play it back. But in a lot of the times, creating a character is like setting up a campsite on a river that may be remote. But when you set up that campsite, it faces a certain way. You know where the woods are. You know where the water is. The road is up this way. Over here is a good source of kindling. And you just kind of have this familiarity with how that lives. So that if you come back in a year or two, it's like, oh, I remember this space. And it all just kind of jumps back because it was this place that you lived, right? And it has all these kind of practical realities that suggest from the site itself. And so I look at a character like that it's like a campsite that I have set up that is familiar to me once I can start to see it. That there's ways that this character behaves, the way that the placing of the sound, the pace of it, all of that is kind of contained in the original creation of the character. That still, it's like it sits on a shelf or something in my mind. And in the case, the extreme case would be the Bad Batch, where I'm playing very different characters, but they're all in the same story, in the same kind of shell, if you will. And it it became that they were all so very familiar to me that I could just jump from one to the other, and we just read straight through the scene, so that they're different people. And so it seems odd, but that's how it feels to me. It's just because these characters are so different and specific in this kind of universe that each of them inhabits, that it's easy to kind of jump back in many cases, just jump right back into what that character is.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Alex.
Hi, this is Alex from Star Wars Explained.
Hey, Alex.
Hi. So the characters of the Young Jedi Adventures in Season 2, they're growing up, they've got their mission robes, younglings are looking up to them. We also see evidence of an older Puba Jedi named Barabo. So I'm wondering if you've thought at all about what Nubs will sound like as he gets older. Basically, what does a Puba sound like after they've gone through puberty?
Now you were setting it up just to tee up that wordplay there. And I see what you did, and my Star Wars helmet is off to you.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, I can't speak too specifically about it, but I would say that if you're interested in what a grown-up Puba sounds like, then stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Thank you to Brandon.
Hey,
I'm
Brandon.
Brandon with Talking Bay 94. There's such a vast array of Star Wars sounds and alien languages going all the way back to 77 with Ben Burt. You're such a huge part of that legacy now, and Nubs and the Pubian language fit right into that legacy. Are there any classic Star Wars characters or sounds or aliens that you're itching to portray that you haven't had a chance to just yet?
You know what? I mean, as you say that, I think it was one of the things that just struck me between the eyes. It just knocked me out of my seat when I was a kid watching Episode 4. Was when you're in the cantina, which of course, you know, all these aliens and stuff. I just went completely nuts for that. But when Han Solo sits down with Greedo, and Greedo starts talking with subtitles, I was just like, there's subtitles because he's speaking another language. And so that blew my mind. So I think it would be really fun to be another character like that requires. There's something magical about subtitles to me that I don't know why, but I just love it. And ultimately, the way that we do creature sounds now, like with Nubs, for instance, is that you could do it with subtitles if you wanted, but with the specificity of the performance that I'm bringing, hopefully, in addition to what my fellow scene mates are saying around me, you know pretty much exactly what Nubs is saying. And that's always the goal with any kind of creature or non-speaking word performance, is that there's a clarity to what is being said so that the audience understands it. So they're not disoriented, and you're not stopping the story in its tracks with just a bunch of weird sounds. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of my Star Wars enthusiasm very much tracks back to alien utterances by Greedo himself.
Thank you, Lacey.
Awesome. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Lacey
Hey.
from the Resistance broadcast. So I have a 3-year-old Daisy who's obsessed with Nubs. She loves Nubs, thinks it's the funniest thing ever. So one of the big things about being a mom of a young kid is you get to kind of experience kid shows again, all over again from what you loved when you were little.
Yeah.
So my question is, did you have any cartoons that you were drawn to when you were younger that then maybe influenced Nubs or what you do now?
Well, the kind of stuff that I loved watching, it was numerous. I really like the old Looney Tunes cartoons, which is it's got a real economy to the storytelling, as I was talking about. I really I liked Scooby Doo a lot because there's kind of it was like there was a mystery to it. There was always something and I always wanted to, like, there's ghosts and UFOs and things like that. So that had my attention. Johnny Quest, really, that and Land of the Lost, those were like my childhood sci-fis that really captivated me, as well as the old school Star Trek as well. And so that very much carved out a space for this young aspiring actor, because I liked acting a lot. I never wanted to be an actor because I didn't think you could earn a living as an actor. It was always just something fun to do. But there are these versions of acting and performing where it's like, well, you can do acting, but there's like slee stacks and monsters and aliens. It's like I don't
All the
think
fun
anything.
stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff. It's like I
Yeah.
don't see any way to get to that. I don't think I could earn a living doing that. But man, if I could, if I could live in the fantasy world of H.R. Puffin stuff, maybe sing some songs, have a bunch of weird creatures to talk to, that sounds like heaven to me. And I think I'm in heaven now. I think I have found my heaven with, with, with young Jedi and Star Wars and all of this. It's absolutely just the child in me is screaming for joy with telling these tales and being a part of them. It's such gratifying fun.
Well, it's so fun to watch. Thank you so much.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Gustavo, you're next.
Gustavo.
Hi, Dee. Gustavo
Hey.
from Triad of the Force. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And thank you for Young Jedi Adventures. Like, I was watching it and I was thinking, like, it would have been great to have, like, this type of Star Wars show when I was growing up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I guess my question stems from the types of Star Wars shows that we have been used to. And as we all here know, like, you're no stranger to Star Wars Galaxy, having played characters in Clone Wars and Rebels, and obviously the Bad Batch. And they've all been tinged with some sort of darkness and maturity in the storytelling based on like what the stories are in those shows. And obviously Young Jedi Adventures is a little more lighthearted and for a different type of audience. So I guess my question is like, how has your approach for this type of Star Wars story and this show been different from your previous Star Wars experiences and how you prepared for the characters?
Well, to begin with, it feels like Star Wars to me, like it did. I mean, I saw it when I was 13, and I mean, everybody in the world saw that movie again and again. But you could say that was a story originally that started out angled towards a younger audience and towards a younger mindset, in any case. So Star Wars very quickly became something that was much more sophisticated and varied, even starting with Empire Strikes Back, which was part of what was interesting and really artistically impressive, I think, about the way that George Lucas took that series. So yes, Star Wars has certainly become much more varied, much more sophisticated. It's built out this whole grand story since the prequels on into what you have playing out now. But for me, going back to do something that's for a younger audience, as we do with Young Jedi, and this is, for the first time, really specifically angled to preschool. So it's lighter in tone, it's sweeter, it's less peril, less the drama of it is dialed back, but it still feels very much like Star Wars to me. It still feels fun, and it still feels relatable and connected and innovative, and it's got lots of great specificity to this wonderful world. This is big adventure to it. It feels of the same universe to me, even though the tone it shifted a little bit, as it does for all the different properties that you have out, whether you're talking about the Acolyte or Andor or Boba Fett or whatever. I mean, each one kind of takes a different angle, but they all sort of fit together for me as part of Star Wars.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. That concludes our roundtable. Please say your goodbyes and have a great day.
May the Force.
Thanks, Dee.
Thank you.
Thanks
Dee.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dee.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So it was really fun. Did you have fun listening to that, listening in on that roundtable, even though you didn't feel comfortable enough to ask a question?
Meh.
Meh. What's your issue? Are you just trying to upstage me with like, are you too cool all of a sudden? You turn 9 and all of a sudden you're like, I'm too cool for Dad?
No.
Then what's your issue?
I like doing this.
Okay, fine. So, as for me, you can find... Oh, I have a new Star Wars card set out. If you can find the new 2024 Topps Star Wars Chrome boxes, I wrote that entire set of cards. including all the inserts. So you can find those on shelves or at hobby stores or whatever. And I'll have some for sale at conventions and websites that I'll sign and stuff. And then for me, you can find me at swankmatron.com or on social media at swankmatron. For Full of Sith, you can find Full of Sith at fullofsith.com and listen to our entire back catalog of episodes. And email us at holocron@fullofsith.com. And rate and review the show wherever it is you listen to it. So for super producer Mike Pilot, for Holly Fry, who couldn't join me with Kingston here today, and for Kingston Young, I'm Bryan Young, and the Force will be with you always.
Sir, if you'll not be needing me, I'll close down for a while.